Hello everyone, it's Ellen and I have a new project to share with you. I'm doing a week in the life project and I'm doing it from Monday to Saturday. So every day this week I'll be uploading a video of my week in the life for that day. So obviously we're starting with Monday today and I'll talk a bit more about this in a minute. But I wanted to make sure each day was different, a different sort of theme in my journal. So I'm getting a bit painty with this one. I'm using my Infusions colour stains from Paper Artsy. I absolutely love these. They're sort of like the Lindy Stamp Gang mica powders, but these are more I feel like they're more saturated with the colour and they're not so glittery. They're more grungy almost. So I'm using two colours. I've got In the Navy, which is obviously the blue, and then I've got the Sage, which is that beautiful green. I prepped my paper first with some clear gesso and then I can add lots of water to it and it won't warp too much. I'm using a fairly old atlas paper for this page, so I didn't want to add too much water in it without priming it first. I added a couple of layers of the paint, focusing obviously on that right hand side where I knew I wanted to add my title for the page, and then I've also added some splatters. I feel like it makes it more cohesive with the paper if you add some splatters. I'm going for a vintage theme, so I'm going around the outside with my distress ink in vintage photo, again just to add to that grungy look. I love how this looks. And then each day I will write the day as like a title. So obviously this is Monday and I wanted these letters to look a bit more grungy, so I also coloured them with the vintage photo. So I'm just going to stick down these onto this handmade paper scrap that I had from God knows where. It's been on my desk for a while, and I'm going to stick these letters on top so they just say Mon for Monday, and it's a way of keeping the whole week cohesive because every day you can see that this was Monday, so this was just an average Monday in our lives. I've also glued the letters down and then I've stapled them as well. These are cardboard thicker style letters and I don't trust them particularly on the mixed media page. I don't trust them to stick, so I staple them as well. I do that quite a lot. If I can't sew them, I'll staple them just so they don't ping off. I'm then going through my photos. So every 2 hours I had an alarm on my phone and I had to take a photo. Didn't matter what I was doing, it could be the most mundane thing, but I took a photo of it and I'm going to journal about it, and I'm also going to add sort of a timestamp to each one so I know what we were doing. And yeah, most of the pictures are just, they're a bit boring at the minute, but you know, if I do this project again next year, it'll be interesting to see how our lives have changed, particularly with a toddler. Things change so quickly, so our normal routine now won't be the same next year. So that's the plan, every year to do a week in the life project, and then looking back on them, I think it'd be really interesting. We tend to journal about the big things, about the fun, exciting things, and sometimes we can forget the little things that actually become really big memories. So yeah, I want to try and document the everyday things as well as the exciting days out and birthdays and stuff like that. So I've stuck my photos for this page onto some vintage book paper, again going for that vintage look, and I've aimed to do 3 pages for each day. So this is just the first page and I've got a couple of photos. I've got some vintage looking stickers. Again, I'm not sure where these are from. I think they might have been in a pack that I got from Shein, and I've just picked out a butterfly and a mushroom and I'm sticking that around my little title. Then for the captions and the timestamps, I've got these vellum labels. These are really beautiful. They came in sort of a square piece of paper, so I've trimmed them out, I've fussy cut them out, and then I stamped the time at the top of each one, which took a really long time with these little stamps. That was quite fiddly, and then I'm going to use them to caption each photo, and I'll also write about them as well. The pen that I used worked really well on the vellum actually. I really like the look of it, so I'm going to stick down those photos now. So I added another little mushroom sticker and a butterfly sticker. I've also added a clear sticker that says love you underneath my top photos, and I wrote in those little vellum labels. So that's that first page done, and then going to do these 2 pages as well for Monday. I've got a fold out page, so I wanted to kind of make a feature of that, and I've got these really beautiful ribbons that I got in a craft shop recently, and I decided to add that onto the flip out. I've just stapled that in because it was easier than trying to sew. I've then trimmed out all of my photos. On that flip out piece you can see I've stuck down 2 photos and another one of those vellum labels, and I've added the timestamps in there as well. I am inking around the edges of my papers to add to the vintage look, and some of the colour from the previous page is soaked through onto the back page, and I quite like that because again it makes it more cohesive. You can tell that it all goes together. I didn't want it to be too confusing when I look at it in the future. Do any of you go through your old journals? Do you look through them regularly? Because I absolutely love looking through mine, and I've seen a few people comment that, you know, what do you do with your journals on the various journal groups that I'm in? And I love looking through them. I can't imagine just sort of decorating them and then leaving them. That's strange to me, but I guess everybody uses their journals for different things, so it depends what you use yours for. Mine tends to be more of a scrapbook for me. You may have seen a little fish on the screen. That was Theo playing with these fish puppets that we made together. We do a lot of crafts together, and he had wandered into my craft room and started playing with one of them. So occasionally you'll see his little hands in my videos, and I think it's really cute. I hope one day he'll join me and love to create things like I do. He absolutely loves looking through the books, particularly the pictures of when he was a baby. He finds it fascinating, so I hope that he looks through them when he's older as well. So I stuck down a few vintage things on this left hand page along with some more photos, and again I've captioned them and stamped them with the same number stamp to again make it cohesive, so it all ties together. I added a tag to the top photo, and I think I backed them both with some vintage book paper as well, and on the back of the tag has the caption for that particular photo. I added this vintage children image strip to the left hand side, which I love, and I wanted something at the top of my page. It was just a bit bare, so I've added some vintage style washi tapes. You'll see that I stick them down with gel matte medium as well. Again, washi tapes peel up and I don't trust them, so I stick them down. I had my gel matte medium out already, so I thought I would do it that way. I added those same washi tapes on the following page to tie it all together. I've also gone over the stickers that I've got with my gel matte medium, again, just to make sure it's all stuck down. I hate it when things start to peel off as time goes on, so you'll see I use a lot of adhesive on everything that I do. So now we've got this last page to decorate, and I'm going through a pack of vintage ephemera style pieces that I got from Shein, I think it was, and I found this really cute image of, I think it's sort of supposed to be a postcard, and I've just ripped that out and added that to the right hand side of the page just to add a bit of colour, and I'm adding some more of that vintage book paper that I used previously. I've collaged them over that music paper. I didn't want to cover up the music paper because I love it, but I just wanted a bit more colour, a bit more interest on my page. My other photos that I've got here, I've backed in vellum. I'd love to back my photos sometimes in white to make them stand out, but this time I backed them in vellum because it's more of a softer look. All of my photos for the Week in the Life project that I did have been printed in black and white because it means I can sort of do any colour, any theme with them that way. It makes it a lot easier for me. I found a couple of labels to document my photos that I've got here, and I've used some more of those vellum labels as well, just to tie it all in, and I'm really enjoying how this is looking. Found another vintage strip of images. They look like they're from children's books, which I really like, so I'm going to add that to the top. A lot of things you'll see me going around the edges with the Tim Holtz vintage photo distress ink, and that's to again give it that vintage grungy look, which is what we're going for. I think that's everybody's favourite in a journal. As far as I've seen, I think everybody likes to make them look vintage because we use a lot of vintage products in them, so I suppose you want to carry on with that. So I'm sticking down my final photos. As you can see, there's a photo of my dinner each day. I also added my dinner in, and I have a photo of the washing up bowl because that happened to be, I just so happened to be washing up when my alarm went off, so I had to take a photo of it. And obviously this isn't something I would normally talk about, but you know, that was the idea of it, that every 2 hours I took a photo no matter what. I'm finishing some journaling on that page. I'm trying to add more journaling to my pages, particularly with the week in the life, because the whole point is to talk about everyday life. So I'm trying to add a nice annotation to each photo, even the most boring ones of me washing up. And I think we are finished. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll come back for the rest of the week to see the following videos as well. Let me know what you think, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.